Flowers is definitely a continuation of the story behind Fingers Crossed. Same dude, same trauma, same tears. I was in London when I wrote this one, and I was with my friend Cian. We had a session. We started talking about the song 7 Years by Lucas Graham and how like it kind of continues like almost very similar melodically. And we were like, we need to do something like that, but we don't know how, we don't know what we're starting with. And Cian just played like one chord on the piano. We were like, that's it. That's what we're starting with. I guess the flowers. And we were already like on track to something. Took me over to your house to meet your family. Introduced me to them saying that you'd marry me. Then you'd look me in the eye and say it's just a joke. Then you'd kiss me and I smiled, did you even know? This person was definitely a narcissist of some way, shape, or form. Like straight up, they'd be like, I think I'm in love with you. And I'd be like, okay, like he's into me like that. And then they'd be like, I didn't tell you I liked you. And I'd be like, I'm inventing things. I'm crazy. And then over time, I was like, no, we're just being gaslit over here. When you'd say that kind of thing, I'd be excited. Got me hoping maybe one day you would mean it. Always thought I'd only make a fool of someone else. Now you've only gone and made me make one of myself. I feel like everybody's able to make a fool of someone else. Like, if somebody likes you and then you kind of lead them on and then they feel embarrassed. Like I was like, I've done that. I'll admit it. Throughout the process, I realized I was like just letting myself back into the situation. And like after like repetitive bad things that happened to me, I was still going back to it. And I was like, this is my own fault. Like I've made myself look embarrassed at this point. I guess the flowers aren't just used for big apologies. I guess I should have been more conscious how you spoke to me. 'Cause when we fight, you give me space and I communicate. And for a while, I thought that's what I should appreciate. The chorus is definitely where the shift happens and we kind of start talking about another person that I have met that I'm happy with. And just when I met my boyfriend, he treated me how I deserved to be treated, like from the get-go, from the start. And I was just learning so many things. Me and Cian found it so easy to just come up with the storyline for the chorus because I was being treated how I deserved to be. Maybe I was holding on to what I thought you were. But when you think too hard, eventually it starts to hurt. The version of you in my head now I know wasn't true. Young people fall for the wrong people. Guess my one was you. I just feel like young people fall in love with like the potential of somebody, or like they just create a false reality in their head. Throughout the whole situation, I just really learned like if they wanted to, they would. Like if they wanted to take you out on a date, they would say to your face, I'm taking out a date, and they will show up at the time and the day that they said they would. And if they don't, then you leave him on the curb and he's for the streets. I was getting any flight so we could make it work. You'd ignore me, could've told me you were seeing her. I was going out of my way to like take a flight or take a bus or take a car, like spending hundreds of dollars to like really make sure a relationship was working. And it was like, what flight are you taking? Kinda hate myself for justifying your mistakes. Took a minute, but I learned that shit the hard way. I definitely feel like I justified a lot of things that went wrong because this person was very manipulative, and I also didn't know my own self-worth in the process either, or like what I deserved at all. Who are you to tell me I can't be heartbroken? Babe, you had the chance, the door for you was open. If it's what you need to tell yourself to sleep at night, pretend I haven't found a man who finally treats me right. That was my line that every time I'm like, shut up, Matt, because he treats me right. I feel like I was the only one for months that like went through this emotional trauma of like a breakup. I was like, dang, this person straight up does not care that I am not in their life anymore. So then to finally like be healed and feel like happy and healthy and like have someone who I just feel so amazing with and actually treats me the way I should, like it is my flex moment. If there's anything I've learned, it's you should watch yourself. If it's hurting you, then leave and go and get some help. The outro is my favorite part of the song because one, I feel like people are like scared to get help, for one, and I'm like the biggest advocate for like therapy. Talk to your mom, talk to your friend, talk to a professional, talk to the wall, like write in your journal, whatever you need to do to make yourself feel better, do it, because it's really important. But also in the beginning of it, I say tell people to watch themselves, and I remember looking back now that I'm like out of the manipulation and out of the relationship and realizing I just never trusted my gut, and I never paid attention to myself and all the things that were bad, even when like my friends and my family and everybody around me was telling me it was bad. I just convinced myself it wasn't, and to just really make sure you're aware of those emotions and how you feel, because if you don't feel safe and you don't feel comfortable all the time, that is a problem, and you should probably evacuate. It was really easy to come up with the chorus because my boyfriend's just like such a gem. And I was like, oh, well, here's 1,000 things that he's just great at. And then like Cian would be like, yeah, people are definitely supposed to communicate with you. You know that, right? And I was like, no, didn't know that. It was just gaslit for years.